Hi Zenden, welcome to my home, which is a 1500 square feet in and around the Botanic Gardens region in Singapore. And I live here with my two dogs, Jazz and Marty, and my housekeeper. My house usually has three elements that comes up quite often. So the first element just has to be very comfortable. Second is this very earthy, green, boho element of it. And then the third is it's very sentimental. So most of the things have a story. This is my living area. Let me just give you a quick look. It's very green. The reason it's very green is because my balcony, which is right there, overlooks the Botanic Gardens, and we wanted to bring that green element into the living room. So that's why it is. So we wanted this place to be very comfortable and cozy. So we could have gone with a lot of more sleeker options, but we went with these big, comfortable, deep-seated green sofas. This is from Island Living. And this crate, again, it kind of extends that green woody kind of finish. It's from Crate and Barrel. So today, obviously, the house has got a very festive look going for it because Christmas is around the corner. So we have the Christmas tree up, we've got a bunch of Santa stickers up, and we've got lights up. Normally, of course, this space would have maybe a big money plant or a monstera plant just to bring that green element into the room. So that's been replaced by a Christmas tree right now. But that's the theme right now. It's very festive. So this is my favorite place in the whole house, and spend a lot of my time waking hours here right from the morning. This is the balcony. It's very green because it overlooks the Botanic Gardens view, and when doing up the balcony, I wanted to bring that green into my balcony. So you will see a lot of different mix of plants. We keep trying out a mix of flowers and fruits and vegetables. Fun story about that particular plant on the side is it actually has a real weaver bird nest, because one of the birds flew in and just decided to build a nest there, and we had small birds and babies for a while. Someone said, hey, it looks like if the bird is comfortable and safe enough to have a house here, that means you've done a good job of setting up this little garden of yours. So yeah, so this is a place I spend a lot of time with my tea and my book, and yeah, it's my small slice of haven essentially. So this is the dining space. One of my favorite pieces in the house is this table. It's a Scantique table. It's a marble top table, and I've been living in Singapore for almost 20 years now, and this is a very Singaporean vintage thing. Almost all traditional families would have seen it, and also some of the local coffee shops have it. They're usually teak or mahogany based. This one's teak, but it could be a dark wood, and they have a marble top, and this is usually where the family comes together and you have your coffee and your breakfast and your meals. And I fell in love with it when I saw it, and I wanted to bring a bit of that Singapore traditional Peranakan kind of feel to the home. It's got these are chairs which I picked up at a thrift shop, I think in Holland Village if I'm not wrong. Again, same thing, if you notice, it's got some old carvings, which is very Singaporean, I believe, that's what I was told. And the chair has a marble base, so you could put a cushion to make it a little bit more comfortable. But it's actually two different places I got it from, and I just threw it together. So that's what I meant. My house has a lot of this very boho, earthy, a little bit of a vintage. It's got a mixed bag of things going for it. But anyway, so this is the place where we try to get all of our big meals, the lunches and the dinners. After the balcony, this is the second favorite place in my house for me, because this is where my little bit of a bar is. Again, as I mentioned, it's a rented house, so I can't do a lot that I would like to do. Like I would like to have a glass fitting out here with my glasses and stuff. But that said, you work with what you have. So this is a little bit of a wine cellar here. This is my bar table, which is this French vintage sidebar which I got. It had some nice carving, although my dogs have messed it up a bit. And this is a standard cupboard from your IKEA. It's a glass cabinet, but it's got all my drinks. But clearly the drinks started becoming too much for the cupboard, so I've got more drinks on the table here. I have a huge gin collection. One of the things I like doing is collecting gin from all the different countries I go to. So what I'm making right now is a Tamras gin, which is an Indian gin. It's an Indian dry gin. I generally love making cocktails. Not necessarily I'm good at it, but I love the idea of experimenting with it. So what I've already got here is a bit of ginger beer and soda, because I feel like it brings out the juniper in this Goa gin that I have got here. There's a few other options. Matinee gin is actually started by a friend of mine from university. It's an Indian gin. Needle gin is from Germany. Monkey 47, I'm sure it's from Germany. But these are just some of the gins. These are all the different gins I have here that you can see. And this is my little bar book, which I randomly picked up at a thrift store. And I usually like open it up and try to look at interesting cocktail suggestions. Sometimes I don't have everything, but they have a few gin drinks out here. So I like mixing it up a bit. So this is the activity room slash guest room. So most people would make this a full-blown guest room. It's actually big enough to make it. It's like easily like 300 to 350 square feet. So it's a good size room to be like have a full queen size bed and make it a guest room. But since I live alone with my dogs and I don't get that many guests, I mean this is the festive season, so you get a few guests now, but not generally so much. So I kind of got a sofa cum bed. That's the one which I'm sitting on. This opens up to be a full queen size. It's from your standard IKEA. I think it's less than $1,000. It's not too expensive, but normally it gets folded up and it just acts as a sofa cum bed. And this is like my thinking room. I end up doing some painting here. I work out here. Right now what you see on the table are my cards for this year. So one of my personal traditions is sending handwritten postcards at the end of the year. I think it started around COVID because we were just not meeting people, and I think, you know, this is a nice touch, and it is an old school way of keeping that connection. My house has a lot of paintings and pictures, and that's the sentimental slash boho element to it. Like the one on this wall is picked up from Vietnam. It was a random street artist. I loved how the colors came together on this one. It was one of our first trips as friends, and post getting engaged to my late husband. You'll see a lot of elephants in some of the rooms as well, because I feel elephants bring this sense of kind of stability and loyalty, and they're just generally cute. I mean, I have an elephant necklace going out here. I have an elephant tattoo. So I get drawn to animals in general, but elephants and dogs and horses particularly kind of do it for me. So there's some of those. So most of the paintings in the house has a story as to why or how it came about it. And I love color, so it adds like a bit of vibrancy to the home. So you would see a lot of paintings at my house. This is the master bedroom, and again after the living room and the bar, this is the other place I love spending a lot of time. This little corner here, which has got my couch and it's got a little small library going at the back, became my makeshift workstation, especially during COVID, because my husband used to often use the other room, which is the activity room, or my late husband, that is. So I wanted like my own space to kind of be comfortable. So this is my little reading corner, which I use a lot lately. It's got a bunch of books behind me, which is all from self-help to spirituality to some light reads like Sophie Kinsella and all of that. Lately, I'm reading a book by Dr. Brian Weiss. So yeah, this is my room. So this is the kitchen. My husband, or late husband, was a great foodie, and a lot of my friends are great foodie, and he used to love cooking. My housekeeper is a good cook. I like experimenting with good fusion food. So we needed a space which had a sizable kitchen, and also a landlord who would allow us to try out Asian cooking. So that's why this place was an immediate sell. Besides being at the Botanic Gardens, it had a huge kitchen space, so we love it. As you can see from the view, I hate doing dishes, but if there's one place I don't mind doing dishes, is this sink, because it overlooks the garden, so it feels almost therapeutic to be doing it. This is the final room in the house. This is my dog's room. There's just so much stuff. That one of the things is this photo wall that I have, which is all the pictures of them growing up as a puppy. We've got 2 crates set up in the room, so they're crate trained, but we also have a bunch of beds thrown around. They have a comfy kind of a rug thrown, so nights that they don't want to sleep in the crate, they get to sleep outside. So it's a north-south kind of open room, so it's got a lot of green going. And my dogs and I spend a lot of time out here grooming them, playing with them, and just kind of having fun. So that was my home. I hope you enjoyed it. I think everyone's home is also a personal story, so there were bits and pieces of my personal story thrown in there. So I don't know how interesting that was for you. The whole idea is to make you feel welcome and at home and get this earthy, warm, comfortable, lived-in kind of feeling, and that's what I've tried to express through my own personal taste. And always looking forward to welcoming Zenden in the near future to kind of share a little bit more of my story, which comes with how we express how our home should look like. So thank you.